We have a small gift for you. Our name, the Ukrainian flag, the Dutch flag, and the Dutch flag with French fries. Thank you. Thank you.
For nearly 3 years, Dutch restaurateurs and volunteers Frankie and Cohen have been coming to Ukraine, always bringing aid. Their vans, packed to the brim, carry gifts for children in frontline areas, pet food and medical supplies for hospitals. In their mobile restaurant, they prepare free meals for civilians and also serve Ukrainian defenders. Are you tired of Ukraine?
No. No. The more we see and feel, the more we want to help, and we see a lot.
Do you ever think this might be your last trip to Donbass?
I don't think about it that way. Sometimes, I do wonder about specific cities. For example, 2 months ago, we were in Mirnohrad and Pokrovsk. We ask ourselves, will we be able to come back next time?
On the 3rd anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a documentary will premiere in the Netherlands, showcasing all the footage Frankie and Cohen have filmed during their visits. The volunteers hope this film will once again remind their fellow citizens of the devastation caused by war. This is not your country, but is this hard for you to witness the destruction?
Of course. It's horrific. It's unbelievable. And why? For what?
In this Odessa workshop, volunteers repair and upgrade FPV drones. The initiative was started about a year ago by Odessa native Ilya Andreev, with support from the Crimean Tatar organization in the Odessa region, which provided the workspace. Initially, they built drones from scratch, but later shifted their focus to repairs. The volunteers met on weekends, hence the project's name Weekend Drones. The team now consists of 15 volunteers.
At the start of the war, I felt useless and powerless, so I decided I could be helpful here. I'm an electronics engineer, though in a slightly different field, but I was eager to learn.
Not all volunteers have a technical background, but the team is ready to teach anyone willing to help. The main requirement is the desire to support the army, says project engineer Ilya Andreev.
Assembling a drone is not that difficult. Many people joined us without any prior experience. Now the team is well formed and everyone has learned, but at first they had only motivation, not skills. I don't have a technical degree, but I worked in IT as a front-end developer. This project intrigued me, so I joined. Before this, I had never soldered anything, but I learned. And now I continue because I know I can be useful.
Since the project's inception, volunteers have built or repaired hundreds of drones. They also develop their own technical solutions, such as an adapter for mounting explosives, which enhanced drone stability. These drones are actively used on the front lines. For example, one of the weekend drones destroyed a Russian Solntsepek heavy flamethrower system. In this Lviv workshop, volunteers transform used shell casings, launch tubes and ammunition crates into interior decor and even musical instrument. The idea came from a soldier with a call sign GIT.
I noticed that some artillery comrades were using spent shell casings as ashtrays, and one soldier repurposed an ammunition crate as a toolbox. That's when I thought, why not give these materials a new life?
Volunteers craft chests for documents, couches with storage inside, drums and even safes. The items are auctioned off, with proceedings going to support the Ukrainian armed forces.
Volunteering keeps me engaged. When you do something, you feel part of something greater. Right now, we need global partners who understand the value of these items and the importance of supporting the Ukrainian army. These unique creations exist nowhere else in the world.
A journey of 600 kilometers from south to east, Kherson volunteer Yuri Basarab is delivering essential aid to Ukrainian defenders in the most intense combat zones of Donetsk region. His car is loaded with camouflage nets, medical supplies for stabilization points, things that can save soldiers' lives. His main cargo, an electronic warfare system.
Children from Odessa's school, number 275, contributed to purchasing this EW system, together with their parents. The main purpose of this trip was to deliver the EW system to the medics of the 68th Brigade. Unfortunately, they frequently have to evacuate wounded soldiers from the front lines without any electronic warfare protection. Often such missions are one-way trips for them. Almost always we deliver aid in person, meeting with the troops. It's crucial for them to see and feel our support.
Before Russia's full-scale invasion, Yuri was a long-haul sailor. 3 years ago, he could have continued his life at sea, but he chose to stay in Ukraine.
In 21 years, I traveled the entire world, every country with a coastline. Australia, China, Africa, Latin America, Canada, the U.S., everywhere. But I never wanted to live anywhere but my own country. On the morning of February 27th, I asked myself, where would I return if I left? And that was it. I stayed, consciously.
Yuri has been supporting the Ukrainian military since Russia's aggression began in 2014, and his efforts have only grown in scale over the past 3 years.
The scale of our work has changed because the nature of war has changed. 2 years ago, I had no idea what an EW system was. Today, thanks to people's donations, we've purchased and delivered over 10 of them to different units. I've received voice messages from soldiers in the middle of the night, their voices shaking, saying, "Thank you, this EW system saved our lives today." That motivates us to keep going because we know our efforts matter. Without a strong home front, there are no soldiers. And without soldiers, there is no home front.
Both volunteers and military personnel agree, after 3 years of full-scale war, there are no problems the volunteer movement hasn't found a way to solve. That's why Ukraine's volunteer movement is considered a true phenomenon and the strongest proof that Ukraine will prevail. Reported by Serhiy Kulas, Alena Hramova, Yulia Bil, Daria Utovchenko, Ksenia Sytynska, UATV News.
Oleh Hural began his service in the ranks of the Armed Forces of Ukraine back in 2020 in the Luhansk region, but the full-scale Russian invasion caught him in the Chernihiv region, where he was trained as a combat medic. During his service, he held the defense in Donetsk and Luhansk directions, and also participated in the liberation of the Kharkiv region.
I have on my mom's line, in my family, all servicemen, very much from my great-grandfather, on my dad's line too, so I decided to restore this line, and I had such a desire to serve my country.
On November 30th, 2022, in the Kharkiv region, while carrying out a combat mission, Oleg stepped on a Russian mine and sustained numerous injuries, as a result of which he completely lost his sight.
Shrapnel hit my head, neck, arm, chest near my heart and leg. I felt like there was something on my head. I wanted to reach out, but it wasn't allowed, and they started holding my hand. Later, I regained consciousness in a hospital in Kyiv, and it turned out that I have been in a coma for 28 days.
In 2 years, Oleg underwent dozens of surgeries and went through long rehabilitation. Then he decided that he wanted to continue helping his comrades and completed courses at the Lviv Medical Academy. Now he works as a massage therapist and rehabilitation specialist.
What I like most about the process is feeling what you've already done, how it changes to the touch, because as they say, blind massage therapists see with their fingers.
Artem is one of Oleh's patients. He has an amputated upper limb and needs regular massage sessions. They met at the firing range, where both servicemen were trained.
In the trooper's oath there are these words: "I'm a professional." This applies to everything a trooper will do, no matter what he does. He is a professional. The massage is a professional. I thank him very much. He made me healthy, gets me back on track, puts me back on my feet.
Colleagues at work appreciate Oleg. They say that he fully copes with his duties.
I'm very proud of Oleg, that there are guys like him, our true heroes, young and brave. He is a fighter both on the front lines and here. He helps here too. He helps the guys a lot. He understands and feels them. I'm very proud of such people.
Oleg himself is constantly striving for self-improvement. He plans to take more massage courses to provide even better and more professional assistance to Ukrainian servicemen. Reported by Yulia Bil, Vadim Dmitriev, UATV News.